I always mention the pool. It's a pool of talent, creativity, and innovation. Those are the things that we want in the pool. That's what we stand for.
2, 1, break it down.
My name is Christian Rasmusson. I'm the CEO of the Pool Marbella. Originally born in Sweden. When I was 2 years old, we moved to New Zealand, and I came here at the age of 7. Been living in Spain since then. Obviously traveled and worked abroad quite a bit. But yeah, been here since then, so I will consider myself probably more Spanish than Swedish. So I will consider myself a local. I'm married, got 2 kids, been here for a while now. My wife is from Guatemala, so as you can see, my entire day-to-day is a little bit of a mixture of cultures and nationalities. I studied hotel management in La Roche Marbella. That's my background. That obviously took myself into hospitality. Been working in hotel industries, cruise ships. I worked at the Ritz-Carlton. I actually did an internship in kitchen at the Ritz-Carlton. I worked at the entertainment department on a cruise ship for 4 months, cruising the Caribbean. That was quite an experience. Then I worked in human resources at the Dorchester Hotel and the Sheraton Park Tower in London. Then I kind of missed Spain, came back. And yeah, so worked in hotels here in Marbella, Mijas, etc. Done a little bit of everything. Then I moved over to Regis, which is where I started getting my feet into the co-working industry. So renting out office space, I was running the one in Marbella. I opened Regis in Malaga as well. That was an exciting time. Then I managed both. I did that in a total of 8 years approximately. Then I moved over to a family office that had a lot of large real estate portfolio to rent out in Malaga and Granada. That was fun as well. So I did that for a couple of years. Managed to rent out most of the space that we had. And then, as you normally do, obviously, you set up your own coffee roasting business, of course. That's the next step. So I did that. And then I got the call from the founders of the pool with a crazy idea of setting up a tech hub business center, co-working space in Marbella. The first phone call I remember was from Martin, and the conversation on the phone was basically, hey, we're looking to open a tech hub in Marbella. Obviously, the image that I had from Marbella, I would have been more focused in the Malaga area, was, the one that we had like 10, 12 years ago. Marbella, very flashy golf courses. People came here to, the golden retirement and all that. And they wanted to open a tech hub for entrepreneurs and businessmen here in Marbella. I thought, okay, this is weird. The first thing that struck me the most was, first of all, the founders. We had Martin, we had Fredrik, we had Pat, we had Douglas and Johan. And I just thought, wow, the profile of these guys, they're actually living in Marbella now. So, okay, something has changed. The next step, what we did is obviously then I looked at the building that we're looking into, and maybe setting up the pool in. And once you get to see this building in Marbella, 2,200 square meters on one floor, that's unheard of. And then obviously you've got this layout. So I thought, okay, that was the second tick. So we got the first tick of the team and the founders. The second tick will be probably, the space itself. And then the next step, when I wanted to see a little bit if there was a market for this in Marbella, because let's not forget, Marbella is a kind of a small market. So we started launching, that the founders had already done that, especially Martin. He had started doing the Marbella Tech Meetups. So obviously I had some contacts, so we started doing maybe some bigger locations. And I saw the turn up we had, just by creating this event on a meetup app and, just inviting a few friends and family, and then all of a sudden 110, 115 people show up for the event. The first ones were at the Marbella International University Center. And then we had all the ingredients. We had the team, we had the idea, we had the location, and then obviously we saw there was a market for it. So that's when I was really on board. So the process of having an idea, having a team, seeing kind of maybe a business model behind it, and maybe I was the other ingredient that was missing, right? So somebody who had done this before. From there up till, maybe where we are now, it's been a real journey. I mean, the first thing that we needed was actually a strong maybe collaboration or partnership with Corte Inglés. A very good job that the founders had done prior I came on board was talk to Corte Inglés. And I think it was the right time, the right moment, because they really listened to them and they were excited about the idea. Obviously, Corte Inglés wasn't a moment that they needed to maybe to readapt a little bit on their concept and land on something a little bit more, let's say, better use of their buildings, etc., etc. So I think timing was perfect, and they really liked the ideas of the founders, etc. So yeah, I mean, it was such an exciting time. And then from there, I mean, just to create this relationship with the Corte Inglés and then putting it down in black and white on paper, that took a while. But once we did that, I mean, it's been an amazing journey. I mean, just being able to have this space within El Corte Inglés is just an amazing experience. The main difference from what I expected that the reception would be for our concept in Marbella to what it actually is, I would say, I mean, it was completely mind blown. It's been incredible. I knew that there was a pool, I mean, hence the name or the pool of talent and creativity that we saw that was already residing in Marbella. But from there, to be able to create this concept and to see how people react to it and how they get involved. Even, I mean, I remember doing the tours here, showing people when this was a construction site and people getting excited about the idea. And once you see that, you feel, well, you know what? We're building something quite unique here. Obviously, it creates a certain degree of responsibility because you're painting the picture. But then, yeah, now you see the result, and it's one of those few things that, obviously, what can I say? I've been involved almost since the beginning, but once you see the end result and you see the community that we created, I would say we've met expectations and maybe gone a little bit beyond. And we've only been up and running for 6 months. The office space, we rented out after 45 days of opening. And that was the pre-opening. We did a soft opening as of February this year. And 45 days later, all private offices were rented out. And then we did the inauguration event on the 4th of May. And it's quite special to have an inauguration event when you've already rented out all the private space. Obviously, we've got, the memberships for the common areas and all that to keep on promoting the concept. But yeah, it's just been the impact that we've seen, that we've had on people's lives. It's quite amazing. You don't have to go that far. Lately, we've been doing these induction with the clients, etc., with our members. And 3 or 4 of them already said that, Christian, if it wasn't for the pool, I probably left Marbella by now. Because, I mean, you can have this caliber or profile of people coming with this entrepreneurial experience, and they have certain expectations from Stockholm, London, Berlin, or wherever, and they come to Marbella looking at this, quality of life, etc. But all of a sudden, you find yourself as who do I mingle with? Who can I brainstorm with? Or who do I be inspired by? So that's what we have been trying to put together. And we think more or less we're getting there, and we've managed to do quite a lot. But yeah, what the pool will be in a couple of years' time, we don't know. A typical pool member is normally people, the entrepreneurial mindset is, I would say, in all of them. They have that hunger, they have that little bit of, that dynamic. So that's something that's homogeneous all over the place. But when you're looking at profiles, it's people who have quite a strong and experienced entrepreneur career. So they've had, maybe they work for big corporations and now they're doing their own spin-off or business, etc. Or we got these serial entrepreneurs that, just keep on coming with ideas. So we've got 4 venture capital founders here amongst our members. We've got 2 family office established here as well. Companies like GP Bullhound have their office here with us. And then, yeah, even, we've got a lot of companies within prop tech. I would say is probably the biggest group within the technology industry, I would call it. A lot of people focus on prop tech, fintech as well. Hence the reason why we're building our verticals now as well. So we want to get everybody who's involved in prop tech together and start creating events for them, etc. The same thing in fintech, blockchain, hospitality, you name it. So that's a little bit of the profile of what you can find here at the pool. So we've got venture capital founders, we've got serial entrepreneurs, We've got people who've worked in large corporations, a lot of them background of investors, angel investors, etc. And yeah, that's the people you'll find here. The pool would definitely not fall under the category of a standard co-working space. It's not. And obviously, I think every single member here notices it. They come here and it's not about, okay, what kind of space do you need or what kind of services do you need? It's not, hey, what do you do? How can we help you? And would you like to participate in the different things that we do? So it's more of a spirit of camaraderie here. I know that we really focus on creating a good community. And we're talking for an entrepreneurial community, a social community. So we're basically adapting to what our members are. So that means that it's really important for us to make sure that we get the right people in. That is probably one of the biggest differentiators of the pool when you compare to another co-working operators. Also, we are not one of these large real estate portfolio companies that just, a couple of floors of this building we're going to turn into a co-working space. No, we actually build it from a member, a customer perspective. Okay, we've got a space, let's see what we can do. And I think we're going to need this, we need to do that, and we're constantly adapting to what our members request. I do think that people will come here for various reasons. The main factor, the common factor is mainly they're looking for an inspirational workspace. Everybody thinks that they've got, the project deserves a great place to work, and it probably does. So that is something that we do provide. I even realized back in the day when we were still under construction, we had offices elsewhere, but I would still come here and work in the half-done amphitheater that was very uncomfortable, but it's just that the environment kind of inspires. So I would sit there on my laptop, breaking my shoulder and my back, just working there. I would prefer that than to sit in the regular office that we had. That was the kind of moment that I said, okay, I think this was the right choice when it comes to space. And then a lot of people don't necessarily need a place to work. Some people have like a great office space set up in their house. Some people actually work in other offices, but they just come to the pool because they want to mingle with like-minded people, or they just want to find, a surrounding where they can feel inspired and come, and not necessarily, as we said, a desk to work from. An inspiring environment where they can work and they can meet like-minded people and, maybe get inspired by the events that we do as well. So for me personally, how it feels when I come to work, it's an amazing feeling. Because you come in here, you've been involved basically since the beginning, and you know every single member that's here, and you can see how meaningful relationships have already been created. There are already people who are doing business together. There are already people, these verticals that we were talking about. People getting together, they're creating things. About creating. That's the big thing, I think, the pool stand for. We always mention the pool. It's a pool of talent, creativity, and innovation. Those are the things that we want in the pool. That's what we stand for. So the fact that you've come here, that the people really like the concept, it's an amazing feeling to see that people share your vision and actually they promote it. Because, if you look into our marketing, to be honest, we haven't really done much apart from word of mouth and the events, etc., which is still, promoting our core values, and people like that. So that's kind of relates to the previous thing we were talking about. That's, we're not an average co-working space. We're more of a community that actually has a co-working space to it. That's the main difference. And to be able to create this, and once again, in Marbella, it's an amazing feeling. Really, really is.
2, 1, break it down.